I am a cat demon, and I accidentally fell right into a tiger's den. The mother tiger mistook me for her own cub. 3 months ago, the mother tiger looked at me with pride. You are definitely my most outstanding child, growing even bigger than your older siblings. 3 months later, seeing that I was still a tiny little thing, the mother tiger grew worried. Why will you just not grow any bigger? Have you ever considered the possibility that I am not a tiger at all? The truth is, I am actually a cat demon. The demon hunters from the Imperial Surveillance Bureau chased me all the way from the town deep into the mountains, all because I ate 2 of their fish. Is that really worth chasing me so relentlessly? Anyone listening would think I had broken some divine law. The rain grew heavier, masking all the surrounding scents. I could not run any further, so I just ducked into a random cave to get out of the rain. I did not expect that after half an hour, the demon hunters still had not followed me. I let out a long, relieved breath and curled up in a corner, licking my damp fur. My whole body was soaked through from the rain. I shivered from the cold, huddled in the corner, both cold and hungry. Suddenly, a strange sound came from the cave entrance. Could the demon hunters have finally caught up to me? My ears twitched. I stood up on high alert, ready to run at any moment. But when I saw that enormous figure at the cave entrance, my vision went dark. This is even worse than the demon hunters. Clouds follow dragons, wind follows tigers. As the fierce wind died down, a female tiger demon appeared before me. Her limbs were long and lean. Her gait was steady and sure. Her body was strong and graceful, brimming with explosive power. I felt like she could crush 100 of me with a single paw. No wonder those demon hunters did not dare to follow me here. The mother tiger walked over slowly and unhurriedly, lowered her massive head and sniffed me. I was so scared I stammered out. Great Mountain Lord, cat meat does not taste good at all. Seeing her sharp fangs about to come down on me, I started to cry, but the mother tiger was smiling. She mistakenly believed I was her son. The pain I had imagined never came. Instead, the tiger's rough barbed tongue gave me several forceful licks on the back, knocking me sideways, sending me tumbling across the ground. She scolded me as she licked.
Did I not tell you to stay put inside the cave?
If you do not behave next time, I will let the wolves carry you off. After scolding me, the mother tiger carefully picked me up by the scruff of my neck and carried me deep into the cave. That is when I realized the cave was much larger inside than it looked. 2 tiger cubs were sleeping in a nest of dried grass, their heads touching. Finished bones were scattered carelessly on the ground. The cubs were woken up by the noise of our arrival. They called out softly for their mother. The mother tiger instructed the larger male cub, Junjo, keep an eye on your little sister. Do not let her wander outside again. I looked down at myself in silence. Although my true form is an orange tabby cat, even my fur pattern is completely wrong. Is this mother tiger face blind or something? Being face blind and mistaking your child is one thing, but how do you confuse an entire species? You cannot just claim any child as your own. I looked nervously at my older brother, Junjo, afraid he would cruelly expose my true identity. And then tonight, dinner would already be taken care of, but Junjo just stared at me silently for a few seconds with his wise eyes, and then nodded. Thank goodness this whole family is face blind. The mother tiger put me into the nest. The 2 cubs, 1 male and 1 female, immediately came over to groom me with their tongues. I quickly and obsequiously started grooming them back. I called them big brother and big sister, calling out for mom. After she returned from hunting, seeing that the 3 of us had turned each other's fur into a complete mess, she gave us another scolding. She scooped the 3 of us under her belly. A wave of warmth washed over me. I squinted my eyes in comfort. But then I realized something was not quite right. I am already an adult. I do not want to drink milk. If any other demon found out about this, where would I even hide my face? I kicked my legs wildly, meowing in panic. But resistance was futile. Mom still forced me to take a big gulp of milk. She spoke to me earnestly. Little Jew, you cannot be a picky eater. See? The reason you have grown bigger than your brother and sister is all thanks to your good appetite. You are definitely going to be the most successful one of this litter. The newborn cubs were not even as big as my actual cat form, but I could not feel happy about that at all, because in just a few months, she is going to realize that I never grow any bigger, and when that day comes, it will mean my death. Before that happens, I absolutely need to find a chance to escape. That is what I told myself, and then I took several more big gulps of milk. Well, since things are already like this, I might as well eat first. Maybe if I drink enough and get the mother tiger's scent all over me, they really will not be able to tell the difference. When I get back home, I am definitely going to brag about this to everyone. I am a cat who has stolen food from a tiger. After we finished eating, Mom stood up and said, I caught the scent of demon hunters nearby. None of you are allowed to go outside for the next few days. Do you understand? After Mom left, Junjo came over to lick me again. I pushed her away. What if she gets too into the licking and cannot resist just eating me instead? She lay down next to me looking dejected, her long tail swishing back and forth. I could not resist pouncing on it to try and catch it, but every single time, right when I was about to grab it, the tail would nimbly slip away. My sister Junjo thought I was playing with Junjo, so she came over and tackled me, and we all started tumbling around on the ground together. I felt secretly pleased with myself. You little tiger cubs. You are both quite smitten with this cat, are not you? The rain continued for a full half-month. The demon hunters finally gave up chasing me. During those 15 days, I tried to find a way to escape every single day, but Junjo kept a very close watch on me. Every time I tried to go out, he would block my path. That guy just kept getting bigger and bigger. There was no way I could fight him. Then one day, I snuck out of the cave while he was not paying attention. I had not run very far when I ran straight into a pack of wolf demons. I silently cursed my own bad luck. I had stayed in the warm, safe tiger den for too long, and had lost my vigilance, forgetting that this forest was full of danger. The wolves surrounded me completely. All the fur on my body stood on end. The alpha wolf sniffed at my neck, and said with curiosity, This cat, how does it have the scent of that mother tiger, Jun Sun Q, on it? I forced myself to stay calm. Sniff all you want, but be careful or my mom will come after you.
Who is your mother?
I lifted my head higher, and said with complete confidence, My mother is Jin Shinkyu. I thought that speech would scare them off. But instead, the wolves looked at each other, seeming to find my words amusing. So Jun Sung-kyu has still not gotten over her madness, still picking up random creatures and claiming them as her cubs. Forget it, boss. This cat does not even have 2 ounces of meat on it. Besides, if Jun Sung-kyu finds out that we ate her cub, she will go crazy again. And then what? Demand that we give her back another one. The alpha wolf thought for a moment and then said, "All right, fine. Last time she went crazy, she insisted that I was her daughter. Scared me half to death." After some discussion, they let me go. I stayed where I was, calming my nerves, while thinking about my mother's madness. I knew it was insane, but confusing a cat for her own child is beyond belief. So she is actually sick. Suddenly the grass rustled, tree shadows swayed. I perked up my ears alertly, sensing something approaching very quickly. When the creature finally emerged from cover, revealing those distinctive golden eyes, I let out a long, relieved breath. "Little Jew, you went wandering off again." Junjo looked at me and said, sounding resigned. I had no choice but to grovel over and start grooming his fur, saying guiltily, "Brother, please do not tell Mom. I do not know if Junjo had some kind of mutation or what. He ate and slept together with my sister and me, but he was the only one who just kept growing and growing. Now he is already half a body bigger than I am, and sometimes, deep in those golden eyes, a flicker of cold malice would appear. He did not seem like an ordinary tiger demon at all." Junjo shook his head helplessly, but in the next second his eyes turned sharp. A low, warning growl rumbled from his throat. He looked behind me, where several figures dressed in white robes had appeared silently. My demon hunters. I cursed under my breath. "You people just will not leave me alone." The young man at the front stepped forward and announced, "By imperial order, we are here to apprehend the cat demon known as Little Jew. We respectfully request the Mountain Lord to step aside." My heart suddenly tightened. I quickly looked at Junjo, but Junjo only looked confused for a second, before saying coldly, "You have got the wrong demon. Little Jew is my little sister. She is not the cat demon you are talking about. There is no way I am letting them take me today. If Jun Sung-kyu were here, the Imperial Surveillance Bureau would have to be cautious. But Junjo is not even an adult yet. Why would the Bureau be afraid of a little tiger cub?" I shouted at them accusingly. "Hey, I only ate one of your fish. Is that really worth chasing me like this?" The Surveillance Bureau official's mouth twitched. "Do you even know what kind of fish you ate?" That was the legendary Wenyao fish. Our Imperial Preceptor went through immense hardship to find that single pair. They were meant to be presented to the Emperor to cure his illness, and you ate them the moment we took our eyes off them. No wonder they tasted so good. I recalled the flavor as I ate them, and swallowed my saliva. My face showed no remorse whatsoever, only fond recollection. Sour and sweet and pretty tasty. "Who asked you about the taste?" Junjo stepped in front of me and said unhappily, "Why are you being so mean? He is just a kid. What did he do wrong?" I shrank my head behind him, feeling completely justified. "Yeah, exactly. The fish are already in my stomach. Killing me will not do you any good. We are merely following the Imperial Preceptor's orders to bring you to the capital city. Do not worry, you are still useful to His Majesty. The Imperial Preceptor is not going to kill you." Like I would believe that for a second. All my fur stood on end again. I could not help but start hissing at them. Junju stood in front of me, letting out a loud roar with his still immature voice. To my surprise, their expressions changed slightly, and they actually started to back away. I quickly started making noise too, not wanting to be outdone. Seeing this, Junjo roared even more fiercely. Just then, a roar that pierced through the mountains and forests sounded from behind us, filled with immense authority, making the very mountains tremble, and all creatures bow down. I turned my head stiffly, and saw that my mother had appeared behind us without me even noticing. Her muscles were tensed and defined. She was still covered in the blood, warm and steaming from her hunt. I immediately shut my mouth. Junju, unaware of the situation, was still roaring his lungs out towards the front. Mom simply swatted him away with one paw. I felt too guilty to say anything. I trotted over to rub against Mom. I have been around, I know how to be cute. When my brother gets beaten, I play dumb. And so I began my life of lazing around and waiting for meals. When I got hungry and wanted some fish, I would yell out Mom, and my mother would quickly drag a crocodile out of the river for me. I chewed on it for ages but could not break its armor. I started crying and said, "Mom, I do not want to eat this." My mother got anxious. "How can you not want to eat this? If you do not eat, how will you grow?" I looked at the crocodile's enormous jaws, wondering who was actually going to eat whom since it was not fully dead. The dying crocodile was thrashing around and got half my head inside its mouth. My mother just stood there, watching with satisfaction. "Look at that. The kid is eating with such enthusiasm. Learning to hunt from your mother." She pointed at a wild boar and said to me, "Little Jew, go and kill it. It is very simple, just 2 steps. Charge at it and bite its throat." Stimulated by the smell of blood, my brother and sister both charged, climbing onto the wild boar and biting it alive. But I was the one being chased by the wild boar, running around in a panic. If it stepped on me, I would be flattened for sure. It should have been easy. But instead, I was frantically scrambling, seeing the wild boar charging straight at me. I was so scared that I shot straight up a tree, and did not dare to come down for the rest of the day, because it was just too embarrassing. I decided to try and earn some respect, so I sneaked out and caught a mouse to bring back. But my mother got too excited, and accidentally stepped on the mouse. She searched the ground for ages and finally found a flattened piece of it, asking me, "Is this the prey you caught?" I shook my head. No, my prey was not this flat. Then when they were not looking, I came back crying and trying to scrape it off the ground. I am sorry for being born a cat, but even a useless wretch like me became mother's most beloved cub, because my brother and sister had both grown so much bigger. While I was still this tiny, my sister no longer dares to play fight with me, afraid that one swat from her will flatten me. The days passed by, one after another. The Tiger Clan's trial day was approaching. My mother grew more and more anxious. One day I noticed her staring blankly at me, muttering to herself, "Why will you just not grow?" She grabbed my front and back legs and started pulling me apart, trying to stretch me out. In her paws, I stretched into a long, thin strip. But the moment she let go, I snapped right back into shape. There is nothing she can do about it. I am just this bouncy and delicious. How should I put this? My mother did indeed raise me up. but not in that way. Junjo finally could not stand it anymore. He thought for a moment, and then asked tentatively, Mom, have you ever considered that little Jew might be a dwarf, and that he was just born unable to grow? My mother accepted that explanation without a second thought. Then what is little Jew going to do in the future? Seriously, Mom, you would rather believe I am a dwarf than believe I am a cat. Junjo promised seriously. Do not worry, Mom. I will take care of little Jew in the future. My sister also came over. Mom, I will take care of him too. Yeah, maybe not. Letting them take care of me would be like me taking care of a fish. I am afraid they might just eat me while trying to look after me. On the day of the trial, Mother made us climb over 7 mountains just to get there. To be honest, I have never seen so many tigers in my entire life. Pairs upon pairs of golden eyes stared at me. They opened their enormous jaws and collectively burst into laughter. That is hilarious. You call that a tiger? That is a mouse. Everyone, watch your step. Do not step on Jun Sungkyu's daughter and kill her. My mother smiled disdainfully. Our little Jew is just a late bloomer. He has hidden potential. How could you useless idiots possibly understand my daughter's genius? With that, Mom gave me a push, shoving me in front of all the other tigers. Go on, give a big greeting to all the uncles and aunts. I braced myself and let out a huge roar, just like Mom had taught me. But instead of a majestic tiger's roar, it came out as a pathetic meow. I froze instantly. My tail drooped down, and I retreated behind my mother in embarrassment. Just let me die. They all looked down on me, and to be fair, I did not perform well either. No one will help me reach my lofty ambitions, and I cannot get there on my own either. The whole place fell silent. Then, suddenly, Junjo let out a forced laugh, praising me, saying that was great, very spirited. Then he and Junjao got behind me, and also started meowing. The other tigers looked very uncomfortable hearing that, and said to my mother, given the situation in your family, maybe you should call a demon hunter to take a look. Luckily, the trial was about to start. Junjo was truly Mother's most outstanding heir. None of the other trial participants could even last a single exchange with him. They were all fighting fiercely, and since I had nothing better to do, I followed behind them and snipped off some of their tiger fur, planning to make myself a coat. When I was about halfway through, my brother's opponent could not take it anymore. Covering his already bald rear end, he started yelling at me. I have had enough of this. You have been provoking me this whole time, I said, acting wronged. I did not steal it. I just found it. I thought you did not want it anymore. You are snipping it right off the tiger. What do you mean you are snipping it? Who said I did not want it? If you had at least waited for it to fall out on its own, I would not say anything. My eyes widened in shock. So, pulling fur directly from a tiger, it can actually feel that. Seeing the situation, an elder of the tiger clan stepped in to mediate. Since that is the case, then the two of you should have a match. My mother got anxious. But our little Jew is only this big. Is not that just bullying a tiger? Elder Shanli smiled knowingly. If you are participating in the trial, then who the opponent is should not matter.
Seeking justice, my lady.
Even if you are the Tiger King, your daughter must still follow the rules. I had heard my mother talk about this. Shan Li had lost to her back when they were competing for the position of Tiger King, and had held a grudge against her ever since. My mother even suspected that the cubs from her first litter had died tragically while she was away, because of Shan Li. But to be fair, all tiger cubs must participate in the trial upon reaching adulthood. Even if they are disabled, there are no exceptions. I cannot just step forward and admit that I am a cat, can I? Mother, my brother, and my sister all looked at me with concern. I gritted my teeth and decided to just go for it. On the surface, I seem innocent and naive, but in reality, I am shrewd and worldly. There is no way she could possibly outsmart this clever cat, because from the very beginning, she has been walking right into my trap.